Hello, everybody. My name's H. Adam Harris. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. That's where I was born and raised. And in my family, when you talk like I talk, you got two options. You're going to be a preacher or you're going to be a lawyer. I chose law. I said, I want to be a lawyer, right? But then I realized a little bit later that it wasn't that I wanted to be a lawyer, like as in it relates to the law, but I wanted to be able to yell, I object, like I saw on TV. That Law and Order got to me from a young age. So I said, I'm going to be a lawyer. But what that really meant was that I wanted to do theater. And so I went to high school, graduated from Cass Tech, and I went to the University of Minnesota Guthrie Theater BFA Actor Training Program. That's a conservatory-style program that takes young people who want to be actors and gives you like really intense training. And in this country at the time, a classical-based training program tended to be male. It tended to be about male playwrights, white playwrights, and European playwrights. So I was searching for a little bit of myself. And so I typed into a class search, Black and Theater. And a class popped up called Blacks and American Theater. I said, wow. That's me. It was being taught by Lou Bellamy, who is the founding artistic director of Penumbra Theater Company in St. Paul. Penumbra is currently the largest theater dedicated to the work of Black artists. And in that class, I learned that Black theaters always had a social justice imperative. But the most important thing I learned was something that Lou Bellamy wrote on the board on the very first day. This was a graduate level class, and I was 19, like, what's happening? But Lou Bellamy wrote on the board, there has been a deliberate distortion of an image. There has been a deliberate distortion of an image. This is a quote by historian Lofton Mitchell. And what Lofton at the time is talking about is the image of Blackness. But today, as we gather to talk about confronting extremism, building community, I'm really thinking about our image of one another, how we relate to one another, how we speak to one another, how we can sort of work to disrupt and dismantle that deliberate distortion. Now, over a decade later, all my work lies at the intersection of theater, education, and social justice. And what that means is I believe in the power of words to bring community together, to offer healing. And so today, to open us up, I thought I'd bring some words from one of America's finest wordsmiths, and that is the poet Maya Angelou. I'm going to be sharing with you On the Pulse of the Morning by Maya Angelou, which is the poem she wrote and prepared for Bill Clinton's inauguration in 1993. If you listen carefully, you might see a way to find our way through this present moment as well. On the Pulse of the Morning by Maya Angelou. A rock, a river, a tree, host to species long since departed, mark the mastodon, the dinosaur who left dry tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, the rock cries out to us, clearly, forcefully, come, you may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no more hiding place down here. You, created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance. Your mouths spilling words, armed for slaughter. The rock cries out today, you may stand on me, but do not hide your face. Paranawe. Paranawe, Paranawe, Paranawe. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. Come, rest here beside me, each of you a bordered country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thrusting perpetually under siege. Your armed struggles for profit have left collars of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast, yet today I call you to my riverside. Come, if you will study war no more, war no more. Come, clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the stone were one, before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow. And when you yet knew, you still knew nothing. And when you yet knew, you still knew nothing. The river sings and sings on. There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African and Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They all hear the speaking of the tree. Today, the first and last of every tree speaks to humankind. Come to me here beside the river. Plant yourself beside me here beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed on traveler, has been paid for. You who gave me my first name, you Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you Cherokee Nation who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet left me to the employments of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Swede, the German, the Scot, the Yoruba, the Ashanti, the crew, bought, sold, stolen, arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourselves beside me. I am the tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. I, the rock, I, the river, I, the tree, I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, and if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon the day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, all take it into the palms of your hands. Mold it into the shape of your most private need. Sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here, on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out upon the rock, the river, the tree, your country. No less to Midas than the mendicant, no less than you now than the mastodon then. Here, on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes, your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very, very simply, good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.